All right, so we are going to be talking about transformations. Specifically, we're going to talk about translations. Okay. So a translation is where points slide around the graph in parallel motions. Now, this is not in our packets, so my suggestion to you is to have a separate sheet of paper for vocabulary for this unit, so you have it all in one spot, so you don't have to keep flipping through your packets. But what a translation does is points slide around the graph in parallel motions. Now that parallel motion is, it's important to just kind of know. Basically what that means is all of the points slide in the same direction. Also, we want to know an identity function. An identity function brings us back to the original function. For example, if you have 0 and you add 5, you get 5, but if you subtract 5, you brings us back to where we originally started, which was at 0. Some other vocabulary is, it's called rigid motion or an isometry. And basically what that is it means that it's the same size and shape after the transformation. So translations, what they do is they slide a shape around. So for example, if I had this star, if I take this star and I slide it around the screen, it's still going to be the same size and shape. Nothing's making it bigger or smaller. And then when we're when we're doing more than one transformation, we always work inside out, and that'll make more sense when we're doing some problems. Okay, so this is page 9 in our packets. All right, I'm always going to have the page numbers somewhere on the slide so you can see. Okay, and with translations, to vertically or horizontally, we're going to vertically or horizontally slide the shape around. Okay, the symbolic form looks like this. It looks like a capital T, make this a little thinner, with a small k comma h. I'm sorry, it's h comma k. What am I doing? H comma k. And what that does is we have an x plus h, so plus, and we have y plus k. So this is what our notation looks like. The h represents the horizontal shift. Which is moving left or right. The K represents the vertical, which is moving up and down. Okay, for example, this shape right here, we're going from A, we're moving it to the right, we're moving it down a little bit to A prime. Now notice A and A prime, they are different. This A is our original figure. This A is our transformed figure. Now, how do I know that? Because it has this little prime right here. It looks like a little apostrophe. So how do we work with these? Well, here's my original graphed figure. I already graphed it there. We're not going to be doing a ton of graphing in this class, but it's good to know what's happening with our figure. So we have our original points here. Again, how do I know they're original? Because they're missing that, they're missing the prime here. Okay, whoops, go back. Okay, they're missing that prime. So what happens here is, here's our rule. Okay, so what does this mean, this x plus 5? What this means is our figure is going to shift 5 units to the right. Now, how do I know that? Because it's a positive 5. Positives go towards the right, negatives go towards the left. Let me rewrite that. So positive h is the right, negative h goes towards the left. Okay? And then over here, the y is our up and down. So because it's a positive 7, we're going to go up 7. So if it's a positive k, we go up. If it's a negative k, we go down. And it's really that easy. Okay? So what does this mean? It means in our figure over here, so we can start at any point, and I'm going to go to the right 5 and then go up 7. So I'm going to go over here. Okay, that's not in the right spot. Negative 1, 2, 3, up 1. Okay, so that's where it was originally. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units up. We would graph that point, and we would label it R prime. Now again, we're labeling that point R prime because it is going to be a different location than our original R. Now where is that? So we're taking our R and we're basically doing the operations. So we're doing x plus 5. Our x is our negative 3. So negative 3 plus 5, that gets me to 2. It's not wanting to write very well. Okay, and then we take our y value, which is right here, 1. So our rule is y plus 7. Well, our y is 1. So we're going to take 1 and add, whoops, getting ahead of myself. We're going to add 7, and that gets us to 8. So this point right here is going to be at 2, 8. And look at this. If we go 1, 2, and then go up 8, that's exactly where it's at. So the shortcut of this is actually taking the points that we have originally and just using our rules to add them on here. Okay, so for example, q prime, we look at q. We do negative 6 and we add 5. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. And then our y value is at negative 1. So we take negative 1 and we add 7 to that, and we get 6. So our q prime is going to be at negative 1, 6. And then we do that for all of our points. So 1 plus 5, 6. Negative 5 plus 7, 2. And then that's a negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. And then negative 7 plus 7 gets us at 0. So this right here, this point right here, that's what we're looking for. Those are our translated points. So basically what we're doing is if we plotted these on our graph, so that would be q prime, this was r prime up here, and t prime would be at 1, 2, 3, 0, and then s prime is at 1, 2. So basically when we draw this figure, now it's not a great picture, but it's what's happening is we're taking this figure right here and we're sliding it into this position. So all of these lines right here, if we connect these to make like a rectangular prism, they're all moving in the same direction, which is that parallel movements that we wrote down for our vocabulary. Okay, so that one we went really slow. Let's go a little bit faster for our next one. So here's our rule right here. Okay, so we have x minus 3. That negative 3, what does that mean? That means we're going to the left. Okay, and this plus 8 means that we're going to go 8 units up. So we're going 3 to the left and 8 units up. Again, why is it 3 to the left? Because it's a negative 3. Okay, but we're not, we don't need to graph it right now. We're just focusing on doing the math. So here we have point C. Point C is at 2, -1. So we take this 2, we're going to subtract 3. This is kind of the basic math of what's happening here. Take the 2 minus 3, I get -1. This y plus 8, whoops, we're not using y, we're going to use, our y is -1 plus 8, so we get 7. So this C prime, after we do our translation of 3 units to the left and 8 units up, is going to be at -1, 7. Okay? So again, point D, we take 7, we subtract 3. 7 minus 3, we get 4. We take -4, we add 8. -4 plus 8, again, gets us at 4. So D prime, and that's what it's called when it has that little apostrophe, it's called prime. D prime is going to be at 4, 4. And then E prime, again, we take this 4 and we subtract 3. So 4 minus 3 gets me to 1. And then we take -6 and we insert it here. So -6 plus 8, and we get 2. So again, this is our answer right here. This might be an answer depending on what the question's asking. Sometimes it asks, are we moving left, right, up, down? This is asking for the new translated points. Okay, I'll do one more just so we can make sure we know what we're doing. So again, this one right here is going to go to the right 2, and it's going to go down 2. Again, why is it going down 2? Because that y value is a negative. Okay, so I'm just going to do 1 point here. So j, I take that -4 and I add 2. So j prime is going to be -2. And I take that 7 and I subtract 2. So 7 minus 2 is 5. So j prime, this figure is going to be translated from -4, 7 to -2, 5. So that's kind of what's going on with these translations. Okay. Now, writing a rule. This is important to know which way to go. So again, we are going from the original letter to the prime letter. Okay, so we're going from this one to this one. So what we need to do is we need to pick a letter. Now you can pick whichever letter you want. I'm just going to start with D because that's what I started with. Okay. Now I'm going to count how many and in what direction we're moving. So I'm going to start with up. You can start with left to right. It does not matter. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm moving 4 units up. So up 4. And then I'm moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 directions to the, or 7 units to the right. So this right here is going to be my rule. Okay, so I'm going to start with a capital T. Now remember, the notation was capital T, H, comma, K. The H is going to move right to left, and the K is going to move up and down. So my 7, I'm going 7 units right. So my 7 is actually going to be my H value. So I'm going to have a 7 here. And my up and down is my K value. So it's going to be 7, comma, 4. We draw this little arrow. So it's going to be X plus 7. Again, it's going to be plus 7 because I'm moving towards the right. And I'm going to have Y plus 4. I'm moving 4 positive units because I'm going up 4. Now, all of these are going to go the exact same distance. So if you started with E to E prime, you should be getting the same rule. Okay. Same thing with F. F to F prime, we're getting the exact same rule. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do one more with these. So again, you can start at any letter. I'm going to start at P. I don't know why, because that's what I feel. Going from P to P prime. Okay. So P to P prime. So where am I moving? I am moving up 1, 2. So I'm moving up 2. And then I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. So this is a little bit different. So again, up is my K value. This is going to be a positive K value because I'm moving up. But in this instance, my left is going to be an H value. It's going to be a negative H value because I'm moving in that negative direction. So my rule is going to look like this. It's going to be capital T and then subscript -4, comma 2 with an arrow. Now again, I'm moving towards the left 4, so my rule is going to be x minus 4. And I'm moving up 2, so it's going to be y plus 2. And then this right here would be my rule for this. Okay, so that's all our notes we have for translations. Don't forget to submit your notes to Ms. Taylor via Canvas. You have an assignment in there, so you can take a picture of your notes, or you can, you know, do your best to screenshot whatever you can.